Hello, guys and gals, and everyone in between. My name is Egao, and today I'm going to be talking about the recent resurrection news that just got leaked, courtesy of Souldex. If you are a follower in the Bleach Brave Souls community, you might be familiar with Souldex, but if not, he is somebody who data mines the information. Every time the game is updated, he goes through the game's files to see what KLab has added. He is responsible for the website bbs-simulator.com, or if you are in the Bleach Brave Souls subreddit, he is the person that uploads a lot of the information, such as this. So, with this information being data mined, we are going to go over the resurrection news of the Happy New Year summons from the end of 2018. Along with these New Year summons, Quincy Ichigo, who also came out around that time, is getting resurrected. This is a big deal. A 4-character banner resurrection means that's 300 orbs for us players if you have all 4. And obviously then all these characters will be coming in character packs, which is also really nice because all 3 of these New Year characters are Chronicle Quest bonus characters, and for me personally, I was missing all 3 of them for the longest time, especially Hanatoro. I, no joke, got him a week ago on the Choose a 6-star. I'm not kidding. So I'm pretty excited for that personally. But let's hop into the actual resurrections. Alright, now hopping into the actual resurrections, we're going to start off with Hanatoro Yamada. For the longest time, this was the only version of Hanatoro, so I'm glad to see him recently get a new version, and hopefully this one has gotten a pretty decent resurrection, which by the looks of it, it's alright. So, for his soul trait, he had already had damage taken minus 16%, which isn't a bad link for NAD characters, but for a strong attack frenzy-based character, it is really strange. It's kind of useless, to be honest. But recover 60% stamina between quests, that's not a bad soul trait for him, and we'll get into that why. And that with the damage taken, that'll be good for our autoing with like a NAD character, like a point event, or co-op content, like anything you have a NAD character that you just want to auto, you don't feel like playing or you want to farm. That'll be good. You'll be able to stay at full stam and you'll take less damage along the way. Or, maybe not even stay at full stam, just stay alive longer. So, let's hop right into his skills. He has a bruiser of 30%, which is up 10%, because I believe it was at 20%. I could be wrong. But more importantly, damage inflicted at full stam is the one skill that he picks up. Instead of Berserker, which I prefer damage inflicted at full stam, because if you play the game and you are able to stay at full stamina scales better than Berserker. It calculates separately, if that makes sense. So when you're doing a strong attack, when it's making the calculations of how much damage you do, it is categorized different than Berserker and everything else. It is calculated afterwards. But yeah, so not too bad damage wise for him. But that's really all he picks up. This character's still missing Havoc. The only units who ever get Havoc in Resurrections are limited base characters, like the 1000-Year Blood War units or some of the movie units. So until we get to the day where premium or even seasonal units get resurrected with Havoc, I never expect them personally, so I never get let down by it. But yeah, overall, not a bad resurrection. Sorry, one more thing I wanted to add about the Hanatoro before we moved on to the next one. He does not have strong attack recharge built in, which is really annoying because his one of his attacks has a built-in heal move, so it's going to take longer to activate. Come back. So him not having strong attack recharge is really annoying, especially not getting it as a secondary soul trait. That kind of hurts him still, as that was a big flaw of this character, minus the Havoc. But again, he's still totally usable with Frenzy, and he picks up more damage overall. Now, onto the second unit, we have New Year Rukia. Her original soul trait is 25% between quest areas, which is pretty decent, but it gets a lot more valuable with the new skill, damage inflicted at full stand plus 16%. You are going to be staying at full stand with this Rukia because of the recover 25%, and then now you're going to be doing more damage. And on top of that, her skills, she picks up 20% Berserker, and that's pretty much all she picks up in the skills department. In fact, that's all she picks up. But she does a lot more damage as a character, so if you are a fan of this Rukia, she's going to be hitting harder. Is this going to make you start using this Rukia if you don't use her? Not really. Her kit leaves a lot to be desired. Like, her second strong attack is like a walking vortex, which is really awkward for a strong attack character. Like, it's not bad, but it's like, it's not really good either. It's one of the worst things you could probably get. But if you're a Rukia fan, or you just really like this unit and say you have a lot of fun with it, it's going to be a lot better performing. But more importantly, for Chronicle quests, where this Rukia has attribute advantage in one of the stages she is a bonus in, she's going to be performing better when you go to farm. So, on to the last one for the New Year batch, we have Mayuri Kurotsuchi. This one is really interesting because normally a lot of people, when they see a status ailment, they're going to freak out and be like, ugh, trash resurrection, why K-Lab, why? But, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's that bad. Reason being, I think status ailment soul traits aren't as bad as people make them out to be. For things like GQ, they can be really good if you're using units who aren't immune. They're also really good for like IT, where there's floor puddles. So if you farm a lot of IT, they're pretty good if you're using a character that isn't immune to that, but you still want to use them for whatever reason, because, maybe they have killer or pots or bonuses of some kind. There could be tons of reasons of why you don't want to use a certain hero or unit, excuse me. But also because poison duration is really good for the human week of guild quests. So, if you for some reason don't really have anybody better to kill humans in the game, this Mayuri for the tech attribute will help, as he has a partial poison duration reduction. So, you throw on, I don't remember what the accessory for poison duration is off the top of my head, but you throw one of those on him with his soul trait, obviously, and you'll be completely immune. You won't be able to be poisoned, which is really nice and really valuable. So, although that's a really niche area, I think that's really cool, because Human Killer isn't that common, so them helping a unit with Human Killer for guild quests, potentially, I think is a really good change. And along with it, in skills, he gets the Berserker 20%, which is pretty standard, on top of his normal boosts and stuff that he has. So, for a unit, he's honestly pretty good. His kit isn't nothing crazy. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And he doesn't have Havoc like these other characters also do not have Havoc, which is unfortunate. But again, I don't get disappointed with it personally because I don't expect it. Now, the final character of the batch, the blood of the Quincy's that flows within me, Ichigo Kurosaki. And this unit is a really hype resurrection, as a lot of people have been hoping that he gets a good resurrection to save him. Even though he's not a bad character by any means, he's just outdated. And unfortunately, I can report he did not get saved. It's not a terrible resurrection, but they did not do him justice. And let's get into that. His initial soul trait, strong attack recharge time, minus 14%. Really good. That'll always be good. And his strong suit is the fact that he is a Link. With that 14%, he has strong attack damage plus 16%. So for a strong attack character, he's arguably the best Link in the game for the speed attribute. So in that area, he is a great resurrection. But personally, again, I'm disappointed, as, something like full stam 16% would have been better. Even if I had my druthers, because that can also be applied to NAD characters, whereas this, you're only ever going to use strong attack characters. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm complaining about something that's, you know, not that big of a deal. Where I am going to complain, though, is in his actual skills. He now has a bruiser of 30%, which, I mean, you're not going to really be using his NAD string. He's a strong attack character. But if you do, it's an extra 10% of damage, which is cool, I guess. But the only other skill he picks up is Power Droplet Drop plus 17%. So he has no built-in Berserker minus the secondary link of the 16%, which he really needs. And the reason he really needs that is this character, his strong attacks have a lot of range collision. Like, he doesn't do that much damage to begin with, and that was the reason why this character was outdated, and they didn't really give him a lot of additional damage as they should have. Along with that, I would even be okay with the Power Droplet Drop personally. Like, I could get over it, but it's only 17%. And the 1,000-Year Blood War resurrection of Tech Ichigo, True Shikai Ichigo, he got 30%. Why is this one only 17%? It just feels a slap in the face to the BBS community, especially for me personally, who has him 5/5, level 3 SP. I haven't actually worked on him. He's just, you know, sitting 5 out of 5. Like, I haven't maxed out all the stats or whatever. Because I was waiting on his resurrection to see if it'd be worth it. And, you know, now I'm very whelmed by it. Because it's not a terrible resurrection. Like, I'm obviously kind of complaining right now more than I should. I'm whining about it. But, you know, he was an end-of-year unit, and this is a really cool, unique unit. And I was excited to potentially see him get a good resurrection. Maybe we're getting a remake down the line, and that's why they don't want to make him too good, because, you know, they recently remade the 3rd anniversary El Quiora, and before that they remade Artworks Ichigo, Artbook Ichigo, 2nd anniversary Ichigo. So, you know, maybe to be optimistic, that'll happen in the future. But all in all, it's not a terrible resurrection. Again, I'm just moaning about it too much. It's just disappointing. Alright guys, that has been the resurrection batch. These should be announced in-game in the coming days and the next few days. Usually it's 2 or 3 days, or like in the 1 to 3 days span. I don't quite remember, before mid-month comes out, and mid-month will come out within a week. Also, these are subject to change because these are data mined. They've changed before, although it's really rare. But shout out to Souldex for getting this information early out of the game files. You can check the link in the description to his website, bbs-simulator.com. Yeah, so again, pretty good resurrection batch, as in links and utility. Nothing crazy, but definitely not a bad batch. Just disappointed with the Quincy Ichigo. But that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. Leave a comment down below if you have any criticism or any comments in general. Leave a like on the video, and I will talk to you guys later.